What is up, everybody? It's your boy Shazwiyt, and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me yet again, and thank you so much for your continued support. If you're new to this channel and you're clicking on me for the very first time, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn on that post notification button so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. With that being said, let's get straight into today's content. Okay. How's everybody doing? I'm doing all right. Hope everybody has had a good Monday. I've had a good one. It's been a gloomy day, a rainy day, but you know what? I love that weather. I just don't like being wet though. I don't like being wet. But otherwise, it's been a good day, you know, celebrating, you know, one of my dear friends' birthday. We just had dinner and stuff. Yeah, it's been all good. Found out though that I do have 3 exams next week, so I have to study. Gonna have to study up. But you know, it's fine. That's the life of a college student. It is what it is. But otherwise, let's get straight into today's content, you know? So, as you can tell by the title of today's video, I'm going to be talking about the use of the N-word, which is a pretty controversial topic. And I feel like this is something that is going to be in continued conversation for a while, because I don't know if we'll ever reach a point where people will get that you shouldn't use the word if you're a person of a certain race, you know what I mean? Because there'll always be people who want to use the word, but you know, socially it's not acceptable for them to use it. And then there's the whole argument about the First Amendment and all that stuff, but we'll get into all of that. So I don't want to talk about the use of saying the N-word in general, but I want to mainly talk about like using the N-word for non-Black people in the context of singing or rapping along to a song, whether a hip-hop song or any other kind of song. And that's what I wanted to talk about. So let's get into what inspired me to make this video today. Okay, so you guys know Gina Rodriguez. For those of you who don't know Gina, Gina Rodriguez is a famous Hispanic American actress. You know, she's a Latina actress. She was in that show, Jane the Virgin, which was around for about 5 seasons or so. It just ended this year, actually. So in terms of like Hispanic / like Latinx actresses, she's like at the top right now. She's beautiful, you know, really gorgeous and a great actress and all that stuff. Not that a woman's worth is by her physical looks, but I just wanted to point that out there. She's gorgeous and, you know, she's a really, you know, smart girl, you know, a great actress. Anyway, I like her. You know, she's talented and all that stuff. Anyway, so she came under fire for something that she did last week on Tuesday. So what she did was she posted a video on IG, on Instagram, and basically in the video she was singing along to a song, the song Ready or Not by the hip-hop / R&B group The Fugees, who were mainly popular in the 90s. The group consisted of Wyclef Jean, Pras, and Lauryn Hill. So it was a really, you know, great group. You know, it was very famous back then. Won Grammys and whatnot. And so Gina, who's obviously a fan of the Fugees, she was singing along to their song Ready or Not, which goes like, ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. I'm gonna find you and take it slowly. You know, that's like probably like their most famous song or whatever. Basically, she was singing along to the song, and basically, she said the N-word in the song. Now, the original video has since been deleted, but since the internet does save everything, I do have the video, a snippet of the video, and also I do have a snippet of her apology over the use of the N-word. So let's watch that and we'll further discuss the issue.
Voodoo. I could do what you do. Believe me. Niggas give me heebie-jeebies. I just wanted to reach out and apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I offended anyone by singing along to the Fugees, to a song I love, that I grew up on. I love Lauryn Hill, and I really am sorry if I offended you.
Yeah, So as you can see, in the video, she was in the hair salon, and she was in the moment feeling the song, and she said the word, and you did hear her apology. She was talking about how, oh, I'm very sorry. This is a word that, is has a legacy of hatred and whatnot. Simple stuff like that. Apologizing for something is the easy part. But people felt like her apology wasn't sincere because she used the word if in her apology when she said, I'm sorry if I offended anyone by singing along to the Fugees to a song I love that I grew up on. People felt like that made her apology disingenuous by using the word if, because it's leaving the possibility of saying that, oh, what I did wasn't offensive, but you just happened to be offended by it. So that's why people are like, we don't accept that shit. So she did follow up with the apology, by, trying to be more sincere and all that stuff. But people still felt that, nah, girl, like, you really need to stop being ignorant and you have issues, girl, like, whatever. Um, and so Gina, I think the other reason why some people weren't accepting of what she said in terms of her apology was because of the fact that she has come under fire in the past on two occasions for things she said before. One of the things that she got in trouble for or got backlash of was so she did like a film or a TV show with the actress Yara Shahidi from Grownish and Blackish. And so basically in an interview what they did together, Yara Shahidi was talking about how she feels about being a role model to so many young black women. A lot of young black women look up to her, and she was talking about the experience of being, the experience of African American women in general. And so I think Gina inserted herself into the conversation. And, she was talking about her own experience of marginalization as a person of color, blah, blah, blah. And I think people didn't it rubbed them off the wrong way because they felt like she was like trying to speak on behalf of black women when she isn't a black woman. She's a Latina. So it's one of those things. I don't really know the context much of that, but I did hear about that. But it's like black people aren't the only people who experience what they experience. Other minorities experience the same things we do. Of course, we've experienced it in extremities or whatever, but our situations aren't unique. Um, and the other thing that she also got in trouble for was how during a roundtable with other actresses that Gina did with Gabrielle Union, Emma Roberts, and Ellen Pompeo from, Grey's Anatomy, she apparently was criticized for her awkward misrepresentation of the wage gap in the television and movie industries. That's something she also came under fire for. So when, like, you have been faulted in the past on, two occasions, it's very hard for people to, like, get on your side once you apologize for, like, the other, now third time where she's come under fire for saying something that was, like, wrong or whatever. So, yeah, I feel sorry for her that she, the girl can never do anything right. You know what I mean? She's always under fire for something. So, what I also found interesting is that Praz, who is one of the members of the Fijis, actually responded to the controversy. And so I'm going to play a video for you guys and that I found pretty interesting. So yeah, let's watch the video.
So what do you think what Gina did?
I mean, I don't really know Gina. I mean, I know who she is, but I don't know her history or background. But, I mean, you have in the past certain Latin people who have what I call honorary passes, like Fat Joe, Cardi B, J-Lo, I don't know what her contribution been to the culture to be able to get a pass like that. But, when we make music, it's for people to sing along. Now, some people can't say certain words. I'm not sure if she's the one. I'm just not hearing about this controversy in the last couple of days. I think it's more about how embedded are you in the culture and your contribution to the culture, right?
But that's a slippery slope, though, isn't it? That you got to judge.
This is what I mean. I mean, like, first, let's take Fat Joe for example. Fat Joe been doing hip hop. He came out before we came out. He from the Bronx. He grew up around black people, Jamaicans, Haitians, all of that. So he's part of the culture. Now, there's certain people, just because you're Latina doesn't mean you can say it. That's what I'm saying. I don't know Gina's contribution and what she's done in the past.
What about a white guy that's done a lot for the culture?
No, no white guys, no white guys, no white. You
No.
can't go there. No, we can't.
Even
We can't do that.
even if they
We
support the
can't.
culture.
Nah, we can't do that. No, no, no. We're about 300 years away from that. Hey, Harvey, don't let me catch you saying that N word, man.
Yeah, no, dude,
You're
I'm
not
not.
ready for that yet.
I don't do it, and I'm not gonna. No, he's in check.
Okay.
It's all good.
No,
It's all good.
all right, cool.
Yeah, so as you can see it in the video, like he I found what he said interesting because it's like he is allowing for the word to be used by Hispanic people if they understand the struggle, if they grew up with black people and really understand the African American experience. But at the end, the TMZ interviewer was like, well, can I say it? And he was like, nah, fam, like, because you white or whatever, you can't say it. So is this one of those things like really? Okay, so certain non-black people can say it, but white people can never say anything. They can never, yeah. Which I guess is understandable considering that this word was created by white people and they're the ones who used it as a racial slur against black people. And that brings us over to the history of the word. So let's talk about, the etymology of it and where this word came from. So the word originated in the 18th century as an adaptation of the Spanish word negro or the feminine Spanish negra, um, which is a descendant of the Latin adjective niger or niger or whatever, spelled Niger, which simply means black. Ta-Nehisi Coates, who is an American author and journalist who writes a lot about African American experiences and white supremacy, he said that it's unacceptable for non-blacks to utter the word nigger while singing or rapping along to hip hop, and that by being so restrained, it gives white Americans specifically a taste of what it's like to not be entitled to do anything they please anywhere. The problem I have with that statement is that when you say that you want white people to get a taste of their own medicine or see what it's like for black people, the black people of today are not the same as black people then. I was never a slave and I never experienced like the civil rights sort of marginalization that other black people back then experienced. And most black people today do not experience those same things. So we can't say that we relate to that. Of course, there are certain remnants of, that time that still plague African Americans and black people in America in general, like when it comes to socioeconomic status or whatever. But in general, we weren't around that time, we don't know what it's like, okay, first of all. Second of all, white people of today are not the same as white people of yesterday as well. They're two totally different people. So when you're saying that you want white people to get the same sort of medicine or whatever, they weren't the same people. When you say the N-word, it doesn't mean that you're racist. Because when these people say the word while rapping or singing along to a song of which they support the artist and they buy their music, and white people make up the majority of music consumers anyway, it's because they're putting themselves in the position of the artist who put this word in their lyrics. They're feeling their emotion. They know why they're using that word in whatever context it is, whether it's in a celebratory way or whether it's to demean other people, whatever. They're in the moment rapping along to the song. Oh, my niggas, see my niggas, nigga please, or whatever, nigga. You know what I mean? And also, of course, I acknowledge that I have the advantage of talking about this issue being that I'm black and I can say the word and whatever. But I just feel like it's just really unfair. You know what I mean? That, white people are always the ones who are just sort of like pushed away in these kind of situations and can't say the word because they really do contribute so much to, just music and how far it's gone and all that stuff. And, it's just sad that they can't say the word. But what I think in general, to basically close off, is I think we blacks have this victim mentality whereby since we have come from a history that has been filled with so much victimization and marginalization and we've been through a lot, I think we want to, I think being able to say the N word is one of the few things, the only thing that we have that we can call ours, that we can have ownership of. Because we have a history whereby we were owned by other people, where we were seen as property, as cargo, where we were dehumanized. So to have the N word, it's a signifier of the fact that we have something that we own that is ours, and no one can take that away from us. That is ours. Which is ironic because this word was created by white people. But anyway, you get what I mean? So in general, I think that white people should never be able to say the word, and non-black people should never be able to say the word in general in any sort of context of conversation. But I think when it comes to singing or rapping along, the song, if you're on your own and black people aren't around and you say the N-word or singing along to a song or whatever, that's totally fine. That's up to you, because at the end of the day, it's protected by freedom of speech. Under the First Amendment, there's nothing like you can't say, certain words or whatever it is. And there's this article that I actually read, and I'll read this to you quickly, where it says, U.S. courts consistently fail to acknowledge that the purpose of racist speech is to continue the subordination of one people by another. This leads to a legalistic distinction between acts that constitute racial terrorism and the words and ideas that motivate the attackers. In our country, the U.S., acts such as assault, battery, vandalism, arson, murder, lynchings, physical harassment are punishable under our court system, but words like nigger or symbols such as the Nazi swastikas or burning crosses are protected by the courts as acts of individual expression. So to protect the status quo of white domination, our legal justice system first formally excluded African Americans from equality, and now it stands passively aside while private actors do the dirty work of legitimating social inequality and silencing victims. So, at the end of the day, as I said before, non-black people shouldn't use the word. Just don't use it. It just saves you the trouble of whatever comes along. But I think as black people, if you do hear a white person say it, don't beat them up. Don't be physically violent or do stuff to them, because that's very hypocritical. Because the thing is that I think we as black people, we feel like we're able to be racist towards black people. And there are a lot of black people who feel like black people can be racist, and they feel like they can act horribly or act in certain ways towards white people. But we say white people can't do the same to us. If you're a black person and you call a person a honky or a cracker or whatever, sort of racial slurs against white people, most white people in general usually don't care about those words, but it doesn't make it wrong. It's still a racist term. It's still a wrong thing. And black people can be racist towards other people, especially white people. So if you say those words and they hit you or they react towards you, kill you, whatever it is, don't be surprised, because you as a black person would do the same thing to them. I've seen videos of black people reacting violently towards white people and they say the N-word or confronting them. So don't be surprised when a white person, when you say something to them that is considered racial slur, don't be surprised when they come to you and beat you up. Because otherwise, if we don't want that hypocrisy, then something has to be done where it's either we can all sing or rap along to the song, or we all can't. It's a tough thing. Because as long as this word is going to be in the music, anyone can say it, will be able to say it, and it's still not even illegal. So, I don't know. It's a confusing issue. But just don't say the word. Save the trouble. If you're going to say it and you're a non-black person, say it like quietly where there's like no one else. Or if you're around black friends like me who are cool with it and there's no one else around, you're cool. That's just my opinion. Don't give it. That's my opinion, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me yet again, guys. I really appreciate the viewership. Please feel free to comment and tell me what are your thoughts on this issue. I genuinely really want you guys to comment and let me know what you think about it, or you can DM me or whatever. And also, yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Love you guys, and shazwiyt gang, I am clear.